Well, we do have an update on Meghan Markle's new lifestyle brand As Ever. Apparently, she'll be releasing new products. In an episode with Arise with Emma Grede, Meghan explained that she'd been planning to offer plenty more products. Let's take a listen to this.
Okay, let's take this opportunity to grow, to have exponentially more SKUs as well as more inventory. And that's what we've been doing. We went right back to making sure we could scale up to that level.
Yes.
And have the quality meet the quantity, which was very key. And then if we have that opportunity of more time, the luxury of that is, well, the products that have been in development that were going to be punted to this quarter, should we pull this in to this next launch?
What do you make listening to her on that podcast, first of all?
I find it so frustrating because we all know a good, successful business is one that launches and has their products available. These sold within 45 minutes, but she can spin anything in her favour. There she's saying, oh, you know, we were able to pull these products forward. Well, why were those products not ready to go the second week? Why was there not more stock? You know, if she believes in her product, then she needs to have more of it. You don't want people thinking they'd like some jam and then can't get some jam or some flour sprinkles, although goodness knows how she manages to sell those flour sprinkles. Go out to your garden, honestly. You know, it's just... She is the master of spin. The problem is that if you're going to spin well, you want people to believe it. And none of us are believing it.
No.
We're just thinking, this is so lightweight. This is not a businesswoman. She's talking all the time about being a businesswoman, but she's not showing that she's a businesswoman.
Absolutely. No, well said. Now, the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, has opened up on social media highlighting the importance of mental health awareness. She revealed that she recently visited a clinic in Zurich which specialises in care for people struggling with complex mental health issues, also around addiction. What more can you tell us about this?
This actually came from a piece she's written for the UK Telegraph, which is, I love it when people of stature like this actually sit down and write a piece, being a journalist, to get it straight from their own mouth. And what she talks about is the huge number of personal scars that she is carrying and the trauma that she went through. And not a lot of people know that her mother left her when she was 12 years old. Susan Barantes went off to South America. She had fallen in love with a polo player. And for Sarah and her older sister Jane, who of course lives in Australia, this was very, very confronting. This is abandonment. And I think this goes to the heart. And she speaks about why she falls for, you know, quick things and ideas and people loving her, because there's a loss of love in her life. Her mother then went on and actually was killed in a car accident the year after Princess Diana died. So for Fergie to talk about this loss, she also in the piece that she's written, and as you say on her social media, has talked about potentially that she has ADHD. So I cannot see all this, but what's really lovely is that the more honest she is, and she has been through her cancer battles with both skin and breast cancer, is that we're getting an insight into this woman who, for many years, particularly when I lived in Britain, was called things like the Duchess of Pork or, you know, Fat Fergie, which is not how we talk about people now and shouldn't talk about people. I think there's a lot of goodwill towards Fergie. She's an incredible mother. She's very loyal to Prince Andrew. And the more she talks about, not in a Meghan-style way of telling her truth, but in a way that connects with other people, I think the love and the feeling for her will continue.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, very powerful, and to open up and be so vulnerable about her experiences, I think will absolutely connect in an actually authentic way. Now, Prince Harry's Invictus Games Foundation has announced that 6 nations have come forward with ambitions to host the 2029 Games, and among those submitting a bid was Ukraine, despite the ongoing conflict.
It's hard to believe that you could hold an event like that with the ongoing geopolitical issues that are going on there. But interestingly, of course, Harry went to Ukraine just a couple of months ago and met with veterans who had, people who'd worked within the military, but also those who were in rehabilitation centres as a result of the injuries they've sustained during the war. So we understand, according to the outgoing head of Invictus, that there are 100,000 people in Ukraine now who are amputees or who are people that could potentially take part in the Invictus Games. Just the notion that Ukraine may be in a space to be able to do that in 4 years' time is heartwarming. Whether or not it happens, it shows why Harry's central sort of philosophy around Invictus will have, you know, resonance for years to come, because it's not just, you know, war as it continues will have the Iranians, the Israelis, you know, there's all these countries and all these people who are affected and who could potentially take part in these sorts of games in the future. But what a lovely idea to think that Zelensky might win that war and that the games can take place there.
Angela,
I mean, who knows, but hopefully.
Hopefully. Angela Mollard, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Thanks.